Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a Q&A. I am so excited because it is a 100 subscriber Q&A and this is super exciting because it's gonna have a giveaway. Details at the end of the video. I guess that the first thing you guys can know about me is that I'm like always singing. I apologize for the background sound. It's just my oven heating up. So basically, I'm just gonna answer a bunch of questions. I've just collected a bunch of questions from my comments and also just some questions that I feel like some people wanna know, slash some questions that my friends ask me. First question is, where do I live? I live in Canada, Ontario to be exact. I'm not gonna give you guys any other deeds because that's scary. I'm 22 years old. I have 3 siblings. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. This is kind of hard to do when you're trying to also make a recipe. My favorite season is fall, of course, probably summer. My birthday's in summer. I always loved being off school, like going up to the cottage in the summer, goated, all that jazz. Fall, I like it because it's not too hot. I really don't vibe with hot weather. Oh, also I didn't tell you guys what I'm making. I'm making brownies. Pre-made. I was honestly gonna use a Betty Crocker mix, but we don't have one, so. This isn't me just trying to be like a homestead baddie. Speaking of homestead and stuff, that stuff about Ballerina Farms is crazy. Not commenting on like good or bad, but I just think that the fact that she went to Juilliard. Anyway, besides the point. My favorite food is probably Italian. I love it. I went to Italy once. Best experience of my life. I swear I'm gonna marry an Italian one day. My favorite dish to make, I really like making soup or like, I don't know, like fulfilling bowls. Like I like making a protein and then so Canadian, and then like putting it on like a salad or putting it on rice and stuff. I feel like it's super easy, so I like doing that. My favorite dessert is anything with like the traditional like chocolate or vanilla or hazelnut, or like I like the nutty flavors like peanut butter, pistachio, hazelnut, that kind of thing. I really like cookies. I'm trying to think. I like sweets. I do not like fruity desserts that much though. Like it is rare that I'll try something that's like, or like if it's like chocolate strawberries is fine, but if it's like the strawberry something, I'm like, I don't prefer it. Sorry guys, I was so distracted trying to put stuff into this while also talking, so now I'm just mixing for a bit. My dream travel destination is probably Nepal because I really want to go to climb Everest Base Camp. Like that has been my #1 dream. I also really want to go to Peru and climb Machu Picchu. I love to hike and I love doing things that really push yourself mentally. So, yes. Sorry, I'm looking at my computer because this is where my questions are. Or my favorite place I've traveled to so far is probably Norway or Alaska. My friend Georgia asked me this, if I have a boyfriend or love interest. No, I do not. This past year I've really been trying to spend on working on myself and just like trying to figure out who I am and how to love myself, because I feel like if you do not know what you are or who you are, then you can't love others to that extent. And that's the truth. My top 3 book recs, Daisy Jones and the Six. If you struggle with visualization, they have a TV show for this. It's like a literary fiction. There's a romance. This is really just about 2 people who are really struggling and like make each other worse. I like the way it's written because it's written that each band member is getting interviewed and it's following the story through the interviews. Percy Jackson, if you want to get into fantasy, this book is really easy, this book series, because for one, it's meant for kids. Highly recommend. It's about Greek mythology. There's so much action, there's so much quest and all this stuff. I love it. My favorite book series ever. If I was to get a book tattoo, it would probably be for Percy Jackson. And I like Percy Jackson more than I like Harry Potter. I know that's the hottest take ever, but this book series is so near and dear to my heart. I read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I read that in July, and I cannot stop thinking about the male character in it. The way he like is so selfless. I thought it was an amazing book. Probably the most deeply emotionally connected I've ever felt to characters before. It's like there's also a lot of other things that happen in this. It's not just a romance. It's like this girl navigating a toxic mother, this guy navigating something that a crazy life change. So I love it. So it's never too late to get into reading. Cough, cough, Haley. Making all the wet ingredients. I was mixing them all up. I did crack an egg all over the counter, and that was crazy. And I also just thought that I had an intruder, but it's my dog. I forgot that he was here. I really hope that I'm focused. That's the one thing that's hard about having a camera, is you can't tell you're focused or not.
And like it's their breath.
When did I start getting into reading? So, funny fact, as a girl who has a book YouTube channel, you would think that I've been reading since I was very little. No, that actually isn't the case. I could not read. I was in after-school program after after-school program for years until grade 4, when I finally could start reading a little bit better. I was extremely behind in reading, and I thought I was extremely stupid. I could not read, and then in grade 4, I had an amazing teacher who was just so invested in us and read Percy Jackson with us. And that's why it's so near and dear to my heart, because that really sparked the love of reading for me. I added way too much flour. That awkward moment. I added 1.5 cups of flour because I misread it, and it was supposed to be 3/4 cups. So maybe I'm just gonna add a little bit more oil to it and another egg. Normally I swear, like, I'm actually pretty good at cooking. It's just sometimes baking. Guys, it's like still dry in some parts. This may be a fail. I feel like Emma Chamberlain, this whole video is inspired by Emma Chamberlain's cooking videos that she used to post in like 2019. Do you guys remember that? The reads I'm most excited for this year, I'm gonna grab them right now. Hey, how y'all doing? Bride. This is by Ali Hazelwood. I love her nerdy romances. This is a fantasy love story about a wolf and a vampire. I'm not gonna explain my reasoning. I have normal people. This is gonna get me through my November depression. These two books by Abby Jimenez, I literally love Dress for the Summer. I'm like, I know these are already gonna be like 4 or 5 stars already. Assistant to the Villain. This is like a cute little fantasy about this like assistant to the villain. Pretty straightforward. And then finally, the big mama. Are you even a book YouTuber if you haven't read this series? ACOTAR, A Court of Thorn and Roses. I opened this package up and gave it to my aunt, and I said, girl, you read this series. And she did. She read it in like 3 months. So I'm gonna read this soon. I'm going on a trip in December for 2 weeks, and I really want to steal my friend's Kobo. Hi, Riley. And download these books onto it. What else? What am I currently reading? I am currently halfway on Good Girl, Bad Blood. This is the second book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I'm just gonna splash this with water because I'm scared. It's gonna be very doughy. This might just be a very doughy brownie. I'm gonna add a splat of Greek yogurt because I see people do that in brownies to make it fudgy and moist. I hope that made everyone who hates moist uncomfortable. Greatest advice to my younger self. Always be kind to others and like treat others the way you want to be treated, because even if someone's bullying you, I can tell you that they definitely have other things going on. Oh, this one, I feel like this is so relevant, especially like now as you get older too. Nobody cares. And I'm gonna go into a little bit more depth. Sometimes you think like, oh, what are people gonna think? Like, are they gonna judge me? Are they gonna, just about anything in life, like, oh, they saw me today and I looked bad. Honestly, people do not notice things as much as you think they do, because everyone is in their own world. They're wrapped up in their own problems and everything else that they do not notice. If you have a pimple on your face, or if you look crazy, or if you're going through something, like, odds are people do not know. And use that mentality to get through life, and it makes life way easier. Plain Greek yogurt just tastes like sour cream. My favorite movies. It's gonna make me sound like a tomboy, but here they are. I love Karate Kid, not the one with, what's his name, Smith? Like the original Karate Kids, guys. Especially the first one with Mr. Miyagi. Hello. Top Gun 1 and 2. Like, do I need to say more? That has your heart pumping. It is such a good action movie. This is feeling very fudgy. Taste test. I made it with olive oil, which I'm scared that the olive oil is gonna taste. Oh, we blessed, fam. We blessed! Anyway, what other movies? Indiana Jones, The Last Crusader. All the other Indiana Jones are mid, in my personal opinion. Oh my gosh, Twister. I love Twister. I love Twisters. People who hate on the Twisters movie don't like tornadoes. Bug's Life. My kids will be watching that the second they are cognitively aware. And Lilo and Stitch. I love Stitch. I have him as a stuffy and I sleep with him every single night. TV shows I'm watching right now is New Girl. Do I go to the gym or play sports? The gym, sometimes. Gonna be honest, I haven't been in like 3 weeks. I've been like walking and running on occasion. It's just really hard to go to the gym, especially when you're working a labor job, which I am, because you're so tired. And like I lift stuff all day at work. But I would still like to go to the gym because I want to see more muscle definition, and when you're like actually like pushing your muscles a lot, then I'll see more definition. Sports, do I play sports? I wish. I played dance growing up, which is a sport. Okay guys, music. Okay, this is really embarrassing, but my most played artist is Andre Previn. Yes, him. Andre Previn and London Symphony Orchestra. Yes, I do listen to classical music. My third most played artist is Chris Stapleton. My fourth is Zach Bryan, and my fifth is Sabrina Carpenter. I like all things classical music, classic rock, grunge, country. I don't like screamo. There was a time that I listened to 2 screamo songs when I was like in my emo phase. Taste test. Flame. Yeah, it's healthier because I put Greek yogurt in it. I have a hard time finding my waist. My favorite concert I've ever been to was Queen with Adam Lambert. Bro, Queen, I wish Freddie Mercury was there, obviously. But they still got it. The guitarist, I'm sorry, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he was like standing on a moon and he was like, meow. I'm like, okay, you are literally 70 years old. I hope I'm like that when I'm 70. My favorite YouTubers, Sarah Baska, Brooke Ebbs, previously known as Brooke Bush, Baby Bushwhacked. Love her channel. I'm heavily inspired by her family content. You guys can tell probably. I love Kara Nate for travels. I love Sarah Caroli. She's a book YouTuber as well as Haley Fan. Their book content is top tier. Also Destiny Sidwell. Love her as well. What is my goal for this YouTube channel? My goal for this YouTube channel is to honestly just like have a creative outlet. When I'm in the mood for editing, I love editing, but sometimes I'm not in the mood for it. Yeah, no, it's a creative outlet. I don't ever want to like quit my job and be a full-time YouTuber. I want to be a physiotherapist first, YouTuber second, and I just like want this to be a place where like people can come, watch my content, make their day a little bit better. Oh, sorry, another thing that I want for my YouTube channel. I would love to be sent free books or like books from authors before they release their books. Sometimes they give book YouTubers the chance to read it and sometimes even put a quote at the front with like Abby Jimenez, Taylor Jenkins Reid, Allie Hazelwood, Emily Henry. Oh my gosh, comment down below if you are excited for Emily Henry's film/TV show adaptations of like all of her books, because I'm so freaking excited. Oh my gosh, my camera's gonna die. My favorite book boyfriends are Miles from Funny People and Justin from Just for the Summer. I'm just gonna eat some of the batter from the bowl. Your all-time favorite character from any book, or who is your favorite relationship? I feel like in Just for the Summer, Emma and Justin's relationship was really good, but Emma's relationship with her mother was really interesting, because I feel like in romantic books sometimes it's always like sunshines and rainbows, but this relationship was nothing like that. As a chronic people pleaser myself, watching Emma navigate that and like deal with her mother was really interesting. In Just for the Summer, Emma's like adopted sister, I think her name is Maddie. I can't exactly remember her name. I think it's Maddie. Emma and Maddie, their friendship is so amazing, and I feel like that just shows like the type of friends that I surround myself with. Like I felt like I was just reading about like what one of my friends would do for me. That was a really good question though. Enemies, Fourth Wing, Xaden and Violet. If you know, you know. What qualities do you think makes a strong character? What makes a character forgettable? They're just like on paper perfect, then I will forget about them. There has to be something that makes them realistic and human, if that makes any sense. What's your process for finding new books to read? TikTok, YouTube, going into Indigo, just looking around. I get most of my inspo probably from the 3 book YouTubers, Sarah, Haley Pham, and Destiny. I watch their videos all the time, so whenever they post hauls or just talk about books that they've read and they've rated high, I typically go and buy that book. Is there one book out there that every person can benefit from reading? I think it is so important for people to read books that are historically relevant and also historically accurate. I think reading books about times in history that were bad, like real bad, really puts into perspective like, oh, maybe we aren't the greatest country, or oh, this was really effed up kind of thing. I think reading like Indian Horse, Five Little Indians, like you learn a lot about the residential schools and the impacts of the residential schools and like generational trauma, all that stuff. And I think every Canadian, and also Americans, because Americans did a lot to Indigenous people, but yeah, just like really reading those books really helps put into perspective. I think also reading about like slavery is really important. I think The Help, ones that I think about to this day, and I read them 5-6 years ago, and just like how like I just don't understand how that happened, and I feel like reading those kinds of books really just put into perspective like the sides that we typically don't hear from. I haven't really read anything about wars yet, but I definitely will read more stuff that's historically relevant. I just haven't had the time, because I feel like when I read books about super intense topics, I like to be 100% in it. But as of right now, when I come home from work, I'm really exhausted, so I like to read something that's a little bit lighter, because then I don't have to focus. But I think reading those types of books are so important to read as anyone in society. Make sure before reading these books that I mentioned, you read the trigger warnings, because there are some very heavy topics discussed and written in great detail. Sorry for the quality change. I flipped them. This is the bottom. My mouth is watering. I'm so excited. I need to get a taste test in because I messed up the recipe. It's good. Don't forget to do the giveaway.